teams in the Philippines couldn't utilize the Hanzo because they were macro-based. Meanwhile, right now, I mean, Onyx were able to pull it off against a macro-based team in Falcons.
Well,
so maybe it was just a matter of other regions can play the Hanzo better than the Philippines. It's just the Philippines have to stick to their style.
I suppose. I think if there's any team out there that could really utilize the Hanzo, it's probably Onyx PH. Because again, it's about team fight IQ at the same time, right? You can make some crazy macro plays all across the board, but if you don't have that team fight IQ of prioritizing your targets and the way the shape of the fight works, it can get a little hard for Hanzo. Speaking of which, TLID going to be on the blue side, Onyx PH on the red here. Bans have already come through. Kalia is through as well. It's blue yo for TLID. Kalia instantly locked in with the Hanzo.
And that's why I really wanted to, you know, pick Ryota's brain about this Kalea, because technically we've seen the Kalea a few times, well, one time today, two times today, and it hasn't.
Zero.
It's been very underwhelming. It hasn't worked out, but there was a certain thing that Ryota said in the interview. It needs a very particular composition. Now, what composition was he referring to?
It's, I think, similar to the Cho, right? When you want to pick up a Cho, you need someone to be able to also help and force out Purify so that the Kalea can finally get a Tsunami Slam somewhere in the team fight in the next one after baiting out the Purifies. And I think a lot of times, you just don't have the initial engage to make that pickoff work. Everybody just goes Purify, you go for the Tsunami Slam, and you're flying alone in the sky.
I do think that Onyx PH might be testing that a little bit, you know, trying to push the limits. I think there are a dive composition, and I think it'll be interesting because now Hanzo, when he goes into that ghost form, is able to kind of follow along with the Kalia, and if Kalia is able to kind of get into that backline and stick there, that heal is going to be double the profit.
And this is literally the same route that Bigatron Esports took up against Liquid ID in game number 3. They went for the Kalea, Hanzo, and the Sicilian. We then saw the Hylos, I believe, but I think for Onyx PH, the Hylos would work really well now. They've already banned out the Jawhead. That was the big problem for Bigatron Esports when they did go for the Hylos after picking up these 3 heroes. The Hylos just could not open up the map, always getting flung out by the ejector and then punished by the rest of the team.
Here's the thing though, TLID have brought an interesting answer. They're like, Kalia, if you whiff, we will punish you so hard. There is no means of escape once the Jushin is right on top of you with the Lantern Flare, not with the Crimson Lantern. There's not much you can really do about that. And not to mention that they also have the Granger to kind of slow down their targets to make it even harder for you to get out of those scenarios. Now, coming into the second phase, I'm seeing the Khalid ban coming up from the side of Onyx PH. They want to make sure that Khalid can't just body check you, just man-to-man defense throughout the map.
What I was really looking at was the gold laners, right? I mean, with the Granger already being picked up by Team Liquid, I would have thought that, okay, they didn't go for a gold laner in the first place for Onyx, and so the Harith was a really good potential pick for Onyx, but TLID sniffed that out. So, what are we looking at Kelra playing against this Granger in the gold lane? What's left for grabs? We're looking at the Moscows?
Literally anything.
Yeah, I think there are just so many options right now for Onyx PH. They could even go Beatrix, honestly. But yeah, the obvious choice would be Moskov, Irithel. Those 2 choices, right? Up against the Granger, Tsuyo and Jusin. Irithel would probably be the best choice just to maneuver around in team fights.
Oh, this is interesting. You brought up about the Hylos just now, but it looks like Onyx PH are going to be the ones who ban it out. And Team Liquid ID making sure that the Irithel is gone. So that means kind of leaves them with just the Moskov. I mean, worst comes to worst, there's always Claude. I mean, PH, all teams from PH can play Claude.
It's Kelra, man. Even in the bad spot against a Cho Tigreal in the grand finals of against Aurora, they would pick up Beatrix. So it wouldn't be too crazy to see Kelra pick up a hero like a Beatrix even here. They go for the Hilda first, so that's their beefy boy. They opt to take away a big pick from Liquid. Again, the pick that saw Bigatron struggle against in their first match, the Hilda on Aran. So they ban out the Hylos, pick up the Hilda to deny Aran.
And by the way, going back to that point about the Beatrix, you mentioned about the Cho being similar to Kalea. Do you think it's the same as a Beatrix-Cho combination? Kalea, Beatrix?
That could be a... Oh, there is outplayability there. There's definitely a lot of outplayability, and...
Because you're not locked down for as long as a Cho, right? Because the Cho has 2 parts of the kick.
Yes.
Tsunami Slam is just boom and then slam. It's not like a forever lockdown.
Well, I mean, as long as you're like held in that Tsunami Slam, you can basically get shot in the air while the grapple is currently underway. But I think that TLID has done a very smart play here. Now, there are like 2 ways of being... It's either you take the Irithel, which again, why would you do that in the first place and throw her into the back line, or Cho, who has outplayability. She can try to go for the first engage, shouldn't pull out of the way and maybe get a kick with that.
Yep. A signature Witty the Wise pick on the Cho. safe choice would be the Moskov. They could go for the Beatrix, but
It's probably the Moskov, right?
probably the Moskov.
Just double dive them. They've got
Yeah.
just kind of let Super Prince be that anchor.
And if you go for Beatrix again against the Cho, it's not going to be the best choice. You can only go Flicker. You can't go for the Purify. It will be the Moskov. Last pick for Onyx PH.
He goes Inspire. He's just watch
Dude,
me.
I've been playing ranked game in this server, the Indonesian server, because we're in Indonesia. No, the Malaysian server. And why do you guys all go for Moskov Inspire, man? It's like
You're asking me the wrong
getting
questions.
so many easy games.
Hit up DJY, man. He'll explain it to you. I have no
Wow.
understanding with our ranked servers. I just prefer professional play.
Yeah.
I like to keep it a professional play. Keep it real. Keep it pro. What about
real.
you, Returna?
What about
Moskov
Moskov.
what's wrong with Moskov?
Inspire.
Moskov Inspire?
Yeah.
It's gambly. It's risky.
Gambly.
It's gambly.
Oh, I know Gani when you see he's gambly.
It's gambly. I don't
All
like
right.
it that much.
Everybody out with their debit cards. It's card roulette one more time. Whoever loses has to pay for the diamonds. Now, boys and girls, Team Liquid ID and Onyx PH, again, two considered to be the best teams in the world, going head-to-head in a best-of-3 series. Mirko, Eterna, it's your turn. Take us into the land of dawn.
Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, between both of these teams. Will it be history repeating itself once again, or can TLID finally be able to bag a win against their Onyx counterparts from the Philippines? Let's see. Oh, already so much aggression in the mid lane.
Oh, Double G Kundo, Super Friends still, though, winning the trade against Yahezkiel, forcing the regen. We're already seeing some differences with the Hanzo this time around for King Kong compared to Annabelle up against Liquid ID. Annabelle went for the War Cry. King Kong has opted to go for the Killing Spree instead. Everything else pretty normal though. Fabian still sticking to the good old Impure Rage instead of the Killing Spree, something that we have seen Suyo go for. But I personally agree with Fabian. I like Impure Rage more.
Oh. I mean, you mentioned it in your cast earlier on, right? Impure Rage versus Killing Spree. Do you think Onyx PH have a lot more sustainability in their comp for the Impure Rage to have more value in?
I think so. I mean, they have Brusco on the Kalea together with the Hilda there. They do have a lot of sustainability, to be fair. Even Kelra and Prince, they're both very elusive, very tough to deal damage to. So, for Liquid ID, I don't know. Right now, it how big of a factor will the first neutral objective be? Because for Onyx PH, I think they're completely fine letting go of the first neutral objective, waiting for the Sicilian, Moskov, and the Hanzo power spike in the mid game.
Yeah, that's a little similar to the composition as also the gameplay that we saw from Onyx ID earlier on. And King Kong's also on the same emblem as Kyrie, I believe, Killing Spree on the Hanzo.
I believe so. Turtle number 1 spawns in the game. Brusco. First onto it. Putting these water splashes down on the ground. Fabian invaded Kirk, getting the information, but really both teams are not going to commit to anything. It's just setup versus setup for both these teams.
But I think it's TLID that want to pick up the gas first, right? They have the Suyo, they already committed to the Suyo, and the neutral objective should be in the bag for them, as there it is. Free Turtle here in the first few minutes of the game, going over to TLID.
Great move from King Kong. Again, utilizing the consume of Hanzo. Just consumes the purple buff and maneuvers away from Witty. Looking for the pickoff. Has away the dragon. Won't be able to find the G-Kudo, and King Kong gets away. Loses a green cam in the process, but Prince is right there to punish them. Putting them in their place right after stealing that green camp.
So they don't find the opportunity just yet, but TLID do have a neutral objective in the bag. And the big question is now for Onyx, what is the collab app? Are they going to be just saving themselves up until they find that point where they get the power spikes, or are they looking for a different trade across the map? Because technically, Aaron Chi on the Granger has also still been left untouched. Very passive gameplay for both of these teams here in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, for Liquid ID, again, they know that they have the control over the neutral objectives. There's no real reason to push the pace, to make those risky moves early on against Onyx PH. And for Onyx PH, it's the same. They know that they're going to reach their mid-game power spike if they just minimize the goal lead that Liquid can get. So trading on the map becomes better. It's just a case of both teams understanding their win conditions really, really well.
And it's working out for them, right? TLID, despite everything that they've been able to do, only a 600 gold lead, and that's going to be another turtle taken over by TLID.
Nope, not just yet. It was the first turtle. It was a delayed graphic, but it's okay, Eterna. Sometimes, in
It's
life,
fine.
it's fine.
It's all right.
The stream is delayed as well for the people watching back at home, right? So maybe we get a taste of our own medicine, getting that
Ah.
delay.
It's a
Oh,
delay
that's not a
section.
delayed take on King Kong's corrosion, by the way. That's pretty quick.
Power's taken
And
down
Kelra.
quite low.
Wow. That's pretty
Alright.
quick, man. And now they're just waiting for the turtle. It's... Man, Onyx PH are just playing it so slow. And it works. It works for them. They want to take it slow. Prince is farming up a storm right now, and there's nothing Liquid can really do to force them in the fight. They're neutralizing the fights. Aran's walking up. Again, Witty walking up. Jikundo coming in as well. Now King Kong wants to go for the fight. Earthshatter coming out. That's away the dragon, but it gets caught in the Soul Snatch. First blood coming in for King Kong. Fabian going to be able to pick up the kill onto Kirk. That's a double onto Brusco. Brawling it out. King Kong forced to return. Gets quelled just a bit.
Yeah, that's a 1-for-3 trade now, ladies and gentlemen. Plus that neutral objective, and it's actually propelled TLID to a 1,600 gold lead and counting, considering they should be able to pick up this mid turret plus the one up top by Aaron Shiki. And this is the interesting thing, right? Because even last season, I think it was Gideon that mentioned that if there was a team in Indonesia and MPLID that was a lot more PH, it would be TLID, right? They love to play the macro game, so the slow-paced game that we're seeing now from TLID is not uncalled for. It's not uncanny as King Kong, though.
Oh, Soul Snatch. Not enough damage to take him down just yet. Still waiting on those power spikes.
Is the power spike the holy trinity for King Kong on the Hanzo?
Yes. It's the Holy Trinity, the attack speed items, Corrosion, DHS, and the Golden Staff that he'll be waiting to get. So technically, they'll need both their damage dealers, Kelra and King Kong, to hit that item power spike. And that's why usually Hanzo and Moskov, we don't see them together too much because they require a lot of resources. Add on to the Sicilian, another one that needs a lot of resources. So they're very resource dependent. And
You would
for
call
Onyx,
this a greedy lineup.
yeah, I would call it a greedy lineup. I think it is a greedy lineup. Something that very few teams can, utilize properly. And right now, Liquid ID aren't getting that lead in the early game, 2000, just because Onyx PH are more concerned about farming, waiting for Prince, King Kong, and Kelra. Kirk gets put back, Earthshatter not heading there, but the onward does land. No follow, Witty! Wait, the dragon, wrong side though. Flicker hurt. King Kong goes in, Cyclone Claws catches on it too! Soul Snatch away with a bad impact, but there's not enough damage to take anyone down! Even SOD connecting Kelra, taking a turret tier 1 up top for free.
All right, no casualties just yet, and this is going to be the next bout that we're about to hit. The neutral objective just get handed over to TLID without any more kills on the board. And despite the power spikes that we're talking about Onyx PH being able to get in the later portion of the game, they've been able to trade back really well, right? Sure, in terms of resources and in terms of gold, TLID hold the cake with a 2,000 gold lead, but these structures are falling down like flies. Kelra is busy looking for a lot more pressure on these side lanes, and he's actually a lot closer than you think to his Holy Trinity. Already has 2 items, the Corrosion Scythe as well as the Golden Staff. Just needs a little bit more for that DHS, but again, these side lanes, they're dropping for TLID.
That's the advantage for Onyx PH. They have the side lane control, much better than Team Liquid ID, because their composition relies heavily on them just sticking together and looking for team fights. Control over the neutral objectives, over the team fights. Meanwhile, for Onyx PH, they have a good way to split push with both the Hanzo and the Moskov. So they can constantly just push the pace over to the top side, but Team Liquid ID are doing a good job at responding to it. Again, Aaron Shiki, Aran, Witty down below. They're controlling the bottom side of the map, leaving the top lane over to Onyx PH. And in the end, I'd say getting a pretty okay trade here. They are in the lead, so an equal trade isn't really the best for them, but they got to try to get what they can, right? Again, up against this very, very side control heavy side control win condition of Onyx PH. They just gotta get back control on the other side of the map. Yehezkiel engaged upon. Crimson Beacon used up by Yehezkiel. Still all gonna be caught. It's Hanzo. King Kong walks up, Soul Snatch. Yehezkiel taken down. Witty gonna be taken out by Kelra too. They're getting collapsed on. Aran with the Primal Wrath, able to zone them away, but it's a 2-for-0 in favor of Onyx PH.
Yeah, and that's not great at all, right? This tempo, this timing, the way that TLID was taken over by Onyx PH there. Remember, TLID, they're the ones that kind of on a ticking time bomb right now. They're on a clock. The Sicilian on the other side, Kelra getting to the power spike, King Kong getting to the power spike. There's a lot more on the line. There's a lot more at stake for TLID. So trades like that don't necessarily favor TLID at this point. Although now they do have a little bit more ground over the neutral objective. The first one there, a lot more information being able to be given. You can see Yasuo also giving information, opening up the map. But again, Kelra, always on the far lane, always pushing, giving TLID a huge headache.
Oh man, it's just so ridiculous. When he walks up, trying to go for the Kudo, oh, gets pulled back by the Sanguine Claws. Brusco will fall as well, but SOD does land. Kelra, will he take it? Kirk looking for an angle, coming in. Kelra will be able to take it now as he's going to be dealt quite a bit of damage. Around Shiggy gets the damage done with the Sky Piercer. King Kong soul snatch away and gets put back into his real body. Team Liquid ID with a Lord win.
And he gets out. Aaron Shigi was on a sliver of health, was still able to dodge out of all that was being put onto him. 2 members taken down, a Lord on the way, and this is despite Onyx getting to the, the Holy Trinity that King Kong is already on right now, and plus Kelra. So all in all, it's still a good idea, a good way, a good pattern now for TLID, as they're now going into the enemy bush. King Kong's looking to get it back.
Okay.
That purple buff gets taken though by Aran.
Very close for Yehezkiel, almost taken down. You can see the items here for the team right now. Sky Piercer done, opting to go for the Malefic Roar for Aaron Shiki over to BOD just to get through those frontliners. Onyx PH's Hilda and the Kalea that, by the way, so far has been, quite underwhelming. Just like we've seen from the other games, the Kalea has been pretty bad.
Red team turret has been destroyed.
Very minimal impact. Very minimal impacts. Now, would it be different if they were leading? Maybe the Kalea is not the best hero on the back foot?
Well, for sure, but I think most roamers and most heroes do better while they're ahead, right? I think, right? There's just no outplay potential from the Kalea, it seems. It just feels like you got a snowball in the game, you heal a lot, but once you fall behind, you can't really go for the Tsunami Slam on any of the frontliners. On the backliners. You can go on Aran and Witty, but there's a Shunpu to cancel the Tsunami Slam. There's Aran who can just take it as well, and then Primal Wrath over to the rest of the team, so it's not really the best target you want to go for. And for Fabian, he can always just skill one out of there.
So there's a lot of leeway that I think TLID are holding on to right now. And the argument was, despite, having the Purifies on Yehezkiel, having the Purifies on Aaron Shiki, the timers on Brusco's skills should be a lot quicker than the cooldown of the Purify. Wait a second. King Kong finally gets his purple buff. So back to that point. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. It still seems like being able to get out of these skills is a big thing against Kalea.
Yeah, it's very tough for the Kalea to really look for picks here, and everybody has to technically follow up on the engage, right? So if you go for the Tsunami Slam again on the front line, I'm not too sure Onyx PH are going to be too keen at just hitting the front. They have a Hanzo. They want to go and look for the backliners. They want to go for Yehezkiel, and that's what he's doing. King Kong doing a lot of damage. Forcing the Crimson Beacon out as Kelra pushes the wave. Good way to read out Liquid ID's rotation. Oh, Kelra, gets caught though, gets shot down. There's no one there to follow it up though. It's a killing spree. They get the kill over.
That is an amazing way right now to be able to look for that opportunity, right?
Uh-oh. Now we're gonna have to wait to see Earthshatter. I believe they are going for the Lord. And it seems like they are trying to go for some of these kills. I think Lord? Speed started? Get the Lord, and there's not much of a contest. They got forced out. They got forced out quite a bit there. So pretty far forced out of the pit, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. And right now, we are waiting on the upcoming push coming in from the team. As it seems like, once again, this matchup is just so interesting. TLID versus Onyx.
Wow, man. I mean, again, this Kalea has not been the best pick, really. for most teams, Bigatron lost with it. Earlier we saw Team Falcons, I believe, try it as well up against Onyx ID, and I don't know, not too sure.
Underwhelming pick. Maybe that's why a lot of these teams have actually opted to leave it open.
Maybe. Does seem like they are gonna go to try to end this game. Oh, a big fight happening here.
Base turret has
Base turret taken down.
Base turrets are falling left and right here, ladies and gentlemen. As, once again, we are seeing...
There you go.
All right, 7-7. All inhibitor turrets have been taken down from the side of Onyx PH.
Okay. 7-7, 14 minutes, all base turrets taken down. Onyx PH still able to keep themselves alive with the Sicilian and the Moscow. Great clear. And honestly, phenomenal discipline from TLID, a team known to usually go fights. King Kong diving into Yezkiel. Crimson Beacon now ready. Immortality. No, it's a winner crown from Yezkiel to keep him alive.
So even though they're looking for these opportunities, they haven't been able to find it just yet. You can see, already, the dive in.
Tsunami Slam coming down as well. Moscow, that's Kelra. Picking up the kill, King Kong in the shadow form. This is where it gets real dicey. This is where it gets real dicey. Late game, Moscow and Hanzo.
Yeah, so despite things going in favor of TLID right now, once again, they do still have to respect the damage output coming in from Onyx PH. You can see the damage already given over by the Moscow, but we do see on the other side that the BOD has been secured by TLID too. So they just need to limit any mistakes as possible from TLID. And they should have a lot more favor around these neutral objectives, considering that all 3 inhibitor turrets have been taken out. So these lanes should be pushing in favor of TLID. Okay.
Ooh, an attempt from Brusco. Tsunami Slam! Finding the pick, and that's Fabian taken down. A big shutdown coming in as Aaron Shiki is able to find a trade. And now it's back to an SOD in the back. Aaron Shiki. It won't be a commitment from Kelra. King Kong gets the orange.
Oh no. Oh no, they don't have retribution.
No Fabian.
Fabian's gone. They're 4 members up as compared to TLID right now, and they have the better favor. Look at him go in.
Uh-oh, Aaron Shiki hiding away. King Kong has dealt enough damage. It's Kelra going to go for the solo against Yezkiel. Assassinated. A double as he goes and picks Aran out as well to get a free Lord.
Oh man, this is going completely wrong for TLID right now. And this is the late game potential that Onyx PH has, and they're utilizing it very, very well. Small mistakes can be utilized by Onyx PH, and all 3 lanes are going to be pushing for Onyx PH now. There's going to be a dive happening. They don't get it just yet. Wrong side of the map.
Wow. Onyx PH. Looking for the siege. This is the comeback moment we were waiting for. 17 minutes. It took him a while to get here with no base turrets, but it's the ultimate comeback if they're able to pull this off. That late game composition, King Kong diving in, won't be able to utilize it too well. Finds the immortality in time, now a dive, Witty! Able to find the Jiku no flicker combo, no Aaron Shiki going in, but it's body blocked. Witty finds his shutdown, going in again, Kelra right there to help out with Super Prince. Hilda walking up as well, now it's gonna be the Tsunami Slam, not there, Aaron Shiki gets a shutdown! A double on Brusco.
Oh, they instantly turned it around back, right? Hilda was completely doing work. They're trying to do the zoning, but unfortunately, the rest of the members were not there when they wanted, and it looks like TLID are going to be the ones pushing this time around. 3 members taken down for Onyx PH, and now only 2 members left standing. Can they defend this? 3v2.
Super Friends has got to make a miracle play happen. Yezkiel's hanging up the turret. Aaron Shiki's on the base right now. The Hilda's looking for it. Liquid ID will get the job done despite a big mishap in the end of the game. Almost a comeback from Onyx. Not enough to keep Onyx PH afloat.